What's up, everybody? Welcome to podcast. Now, I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about the potential for PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2. Always quite a mouthful whenever I talk about this game, but I have talked about this game a couple times in the past. You guys have seemed to really enjoy it. I do like talking about this game. And then again, in this video, I kind of want to bring it a little bit more open, kind of talk about, again, what I think like this game could mean for PlayStation 5, why I think we need it. We have talked about other things like characters I want to return into that game. I think I've talked about new characters, so we've done quite a few different videos. If you guys like these All-Stars videos, definitely let me know by leaving a like, making sure you guys are subscribed, have that bell icon turned on, and I can absolutely make more videos. And it's kind of all stemmed, by the way, if you guys are brand new, welcome. There were rumors a while ago that a All-Stars 2 could be in development for the PS5, obviously be PlayStation exclusive. That kind of got the ball rolling. Obviously, I think people have always wanted there to be a second game, at least I have, and I know other people have too, but that's kind of, again, how all of this stuff started. I truly do believe that this is a really big potential game for PlayStation. The thing is, it is a risk, and that's the biggest thing. That's the worry, and that's what I'm worried about. That Sony looks at and says, "Hey, the first game, we put a lot into it. We literally opened a studio specifically for this game. We got fighting veteran game developers. We put them all together of all these different games, not every single one, but many games. We put a bunch of a really good team of developers together. They made a game. I loved it. I really I think it's one of the most underrated games of all time, not just PlayStation 3, but of all time. I know the comparisons obviously will always be there to Smash Bros. Which one's better? I think everybody would probably say Smash Bros. I mean, I'm really bad at Smash Bros. And I was really good at All Stars. I enjoyed All Stars so much. And so I am in the camp that I would want a second game. And I think, again, once you move past and by the way, then that studio closed. So now in order to get a second game, you would need another new studio. You need to build a new studio or have a studio that's already out there. I believe the rumors is like Capcom would help them. That was like the early leak. That would be interesting. That would definitely be something to look at if it actually happened. But again, I see the potential as just enormous because that first game got a lot of people to like those kind of games. I mean, I've talked about it, I'm not one of those fighter. I respect them, but I'm not really good at fighters. I don't play a lot of fighters. I've played Mortal Kombat. I've played Injustice. I've watched people play Tekken. Actually, one of my friends played Tekken before, like in front of me. I think we even made videos on it. I have played some fighting games, but I'm not amazing at them. I don't love them, but I fell in love with All Stars, and I think the potential of Sony having their own brawler, just like Nintendo does, is incredible, and it's a fun thing that you can do so much more with. The first game, honestly, was loaded with potential. It was loaded with, I liked the roster. I liked the maps. I think they did a really awesome job. I think all the characters felt like how they would act in a brawler. I don't think I ever asked the question of what like Nathan Drake would do in a fighting kind of game, but then they answered that question if I was ever wondering. They did give the answer, but then there was talk of like the DLC, and we did get some DLCs, right? We got like Cat, we got from Gravity Rush, which awesome game. We got a couple. I think we got like 3 or 4. We got Isaac, right, from Dead Space, which I remember was just a very odd one. I did like that character. That was a good character. But then remember there was like rumors of like Crash and maybe like Eco. What you could do with a new game though, that was before The Last of Us, so we didn't even have Joel or Ellie. We didn't have Spider-Man. We didn't have a lot of crossover. I mean, what I did like is they did take a lot of first-party games. So, I mean, a lot of those games, or a lot of the characters we got to play as, they were exclusives. I mean, a lot of them were exclusive games, but there weren't that many that were crossovers. You know, Nintendo does a really good job, I think, with Smash. Obviously, they have an insane roster to pick from, but they can also make deals and also bring over characters that aren't just strictly Nintendo. I think Sony did that a little bit, but they could have done a whole lot more. So, again, the potential for a second one, so much higher on a new console, right? Because it wouldn't be for PS4, so it'd be for PS5. If they could do it for like a launch kind of thing, or like within the first couple months, or even the first year, have it be one of those pioneer games for your next generation console. Again, I get it. The game did not sell well. It absolutely did not sell well, and that's ultimately what led to the studio, falling apart or being, I guess, just being shut down. Is they didn't make that much money. I don't even know if they made money at all. Because again, it did not sell all. I think it sold a couple million, but that wasn't what they had wanted. That wasn't what they had expected. And so, yeah, I get it. That the worry would be, especially, again, I mean, if we want to be negative, we could say, all right, well, if they did it again, if they did an All-Stars 2 and they did it for PS5 and they did it within the first year, you're selling it to not that many people. Not that many people. Whereas when you did the PS3 version, you sold it at the end of the PS3 life cycle for the most part. I mean, it wasn't like literally the very end, but it was closer to the end than the beginning, right? So you had more people to potentially buy your game on PS3, and they didn't. And so if you do it for PS5, how can you assure, if you're a developer and you want to make this game, how could you assure Sony that you're actually going to sell it? It's a tough sell. There's lots of games, and I have like a bucket list, like a wish list of games that I wish one day we could eventually revisit or get, just in general. And All-Stars 2 is 100% on that list, just again because of how much I love that game and how much I truly do see potential. The story was pretty weak, right? The whole kind of like going through the couple characters, not much there. But again, I think the basis of what they had there was a really good game. They had a very solid roster. They had the mechanics. They had the being different from Smash Bros. They had the maps, all that kind of stuff. I mean, they locked down what they wanted to do, and now the thing is just building onto that and learning from those mistakes. And that's why it was such a tragedy when that studio shut down, and when we were kind of like assured, like, hey, the All-Stars 2, at least from them, is not happening. That sucked because it's like, hey, they really could have done an even better, an amazing job. And the first game, again, was reviewed pretty well. People overall enjoyed it. I don't think anybody would say it was a terrible game. I don't know if people would say it was a perfect game, it was a masterpiece, it was revolutionary. I don't know if you would get that, but I think a lot of people, the majority, would say that was a solid, good game. And I would probably get a second game. Again, the question is, can you get more people to jump on board for that second game? But again, I really feel like there is so much potential. There's potential to make it into something, a series, something that can have life, that can have more than just one game, and then you'd have to cancel or shut down the studio and do it all over again if you want another one. And the biggest question, like I've said a couple times, is just they need to be able to, there's risk involved, there's absolutely risk involved, and there's risks involved with other games too. A lot of games have risks. There's not that many games. I mean, there are, and every, I think, publisher kind of has those games that you're kind of like assured that you could always go back to, or it is a franchise and you're just going to keep going, with it, all those kind of things. But besides that, any other game is pretty much a risk. You don't know, especially games that are new IPs. And that's another thing, too, is they spent so much time, so much energy, so much money. They opened up, again, their own freaking studio for it. And they made the game, and then nothing happened. They did nothing with it afterwards. And that's a lot of time, money, effort, like entire like systems built, all lost, and something that I think could easily be picked up and should be picked back up to make it probably an easier experience making a second game. So I think it's still possible. Those leaks, obviously, and the leaks are old. The leaks are pretty old. The leaks are like 8-9 months old, but those definitely provided like a new wave of optimism and hopefulness to me. Hopefully, I think definitely to a lot of other people too. So maybe they announce it when they announce other PS5 games. Maybe this is a game that they hold off of. It doesn't have to come out within like the first year. Maybe it's something that's being made in general. But I do hope one day I wake up to it, or I see it on Twitter, or I see it on a news site or something. I hope I see one day that, hey, a second game is in development. They confirm it. They show a trailer at some kind of convention of theirs, and like they show it's real. And it's like, oh my god, that would be very, very cool. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Do you want a PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2? Do you think there's potential there? Do you think they're actually making it for the PS5? Let me know. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel Podcast Now and hit that bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I greatly appreciate it. Again, make sure you're showing your support for these videos, and I'll absolutely make more. Leave your suggestions if there's anything you want to see All-Stars 2 related, and I'll absolutely do that for the next video, okay? Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.